Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review, and I'm super excited because guess what? We are on issue 3 of the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 from Eaglemoss Hero Collector. Now, issue 3 is split up into 4 stages. We're going to build stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, and stage 6. Those will all be presented in separate videos. So up next, first thing, we'll go ahead and get started with stage 3 of issue 3. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's look at issue 3's magazine. And right away when we get into the first page, it gives us the table of contents, which comprises of the kit instructions themselves, which we're going to be assembling 4 stages with issue 3. A very good article about Slimer, the iconic ghost from Ghostbusters. Another article about Harold Ramis. And then an article about the Ecto-101 featuring Saturday Night Live. So if you haven't done so already, head over to Eaglemoss. I put a link in the description below where you can subscribe to this. And I was noticing the other day that the Nissan GTR in the US is sold out. So it's only available for pre-order right now. So like I said, this stuff is going to sell out, and all you'll be able to do is pre-order it. So don't wait. If you're thinking about waiting, don't do it because it's going to sell out fast. So let's move on with the magazine. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be doing stage 3 first, and that's comprised of the chrome front bumper with fog lights. So we'll move ahead, and these are the instructions for that. And we'll gather some of the parts from the previous issue that we assembled, and we'll assemble this. Looks like we have 5 total steps for stage number 3. And come to our article here about the story of Slimer and how it was actually a prop that was designed by Steve Johnson. And I won't get into the article, but it's a very good article to read. I read it because I'm very interested in props, stage props for movies. And you know, back then they had the real props. There was no CGI fully incorporated in the movies back then. So that's what made this article very interesting to me. And the man that got to put the suit on, Mark Brian Wilson, he was the one that was behind the suit. Then we have a wonderful article here about Harold Ramis, and of course he was he wrote and directed National Lampoon's Animal House, Meatballs, Caddyshack, Stripes, National Lampoon Vacation, Groundhog Day, Analyze This. But he also starred, you know, in this movie, in Ghostbusters, and he starred in a few other movies. So there's a couple of great pages about Harold. That's what makes this magazine worth getting, is you're getting everything about the Ghostbusters in this subscription. It's not just the model parts, so it's well worth the subscription with the magazine itself too. And then we get into Ecto-101, and they have a article there about the Saturday Night Live. Then they give us a preview of issue 4. So we'll be doing that a little bit later, and so just stay tuned for that. So let me get the parts out, and we'll get a closer look at the parts, and then we'll assemble this issue. Be right back. Included with pack number 2, issue 3, we received our first binder, and this is where you can store all your magazines in for prosperity. And if you visit some of my other videos, I've shown you how to use this binder, but it's pretty simple. You have these little insert tabs here, and you take and use those to insert your magazines where the staples are, right in the middle, and then these tabs hold them in place. And looks like it holds probably around a dozen magazines or more. But that is the binder from Eaglemoss Hero Collector. Here is Stage 3 blister pack. Now it's really hard to see while it's in the blister pack, so I'll go ahead and take it out. And besides that, also you have all the chrome. Chrome is very hard to videotape and film, but I'll do my best to show you these parts. So I'll take these out, I'll be right back. These are the parts. Let's look at them a little closer here. Everything that I noticed is plastic with these parts. So we have the front bumper, we have the left fog light casing, the right fog light casing, we have the fog light lenses, and we have the fog light reflectors. Now the screws that we received with this are some AP screws, some black BM screws, and some DP screws. So let's get started. Step 1 is we fit the license plate to the bumper. Now it's pretty obvious how that goes. The license plate is actually metal, and we're going to install some BM screws, M meaning metal, and my old standby, I'm going to use my Vaseline chapstick, and that works fine for lubricating the holes. That way we're not struggling with the screws, and we run less chance of breaking the screw off. There we go. And going to be using the kit screwdriver. Now if you notice, the screwdriver is kind of small, and if you have larger hands you might have a problem with this screwdriver. So if you're looking for a better screwdriver to use for bigger hands, is the Wera screwdrivers. I highly recommend those. You can actually get these in my Amazon store. I put a link down below. But the larger one, for the larger screws, you want to use a PHO. That's this one right here. And then for the smaller screws, has a very small end, and these are cross point, or what we call Phillips screwdrivers. You want to go ahead and get the PHOO. So either the PHO for the larger screws and the PHOO for the smaller screws. And that's Wera. Those are those Wera screwdrivers. So we're just going to put this into the lower bumper. It just goes in one way. Turn it over. We'll put our first screw in. So we'll put our first one in. And with the Vaseline it should cut in a lot easier. I'm really having fun with this one. This is going to be a big kit. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you order this as soon as possible, because it could sell out pretty fast, just like the Nissan GTR. So there's that, and that's what it looks like. We'll go to the next step. I'll be right back. Step 2, we assemble the left fog light and casing. And all these parts are marked with an L, and the instructions clearly tell you that. If you look on the bottom side there, in between the two fog lights is an L. Also on the back side of your reflectors are L's, and on the clear part is an L. So we're going to insert this in there. Just like that. And then we'll put our first reflector in, and it may help just to use some tweezers. These AP screws are a little bit longer than most screws, and we'll just go ahead and get that started. So I got the first one started. I'm not going to tighten it down all the way. and get the second one started. Just a little patience, and goes right in. Screw it in until you feel some resistance and then stop, because you don't want to over tighten these. They're just going into plastic. There we go. There we go. Now they're tight. Put the next reflector in. A lot of guys in the forums are drilling through this so they can install LED lights. That's a pretty cool idea, and I'm sure it will work out for them. Use my tweezers again to get it to line up there. Turned it around. Thought I would get it, but so they only go in one way. Just to get it started. Do the second one to line it up. There we go. Now I can go ahead and tighten it down. Hardest part was just lining up the reflectors as they're supposed to be. But like I said, they only go in one way, so don't try to force it. If it doesn't look like it's lining up, turn it around. And there we go. Both fog lights are installed. There you go. They look great on the side camera there, and of course on the top camera. Let's go to the next step. I'll assemble the right side, and I'll be right back and I'll show you both of them together. Step 3, completed the right side. So that's this right here, and the left side together. That's our very nice fog light casings there. And I did use, you can use a really good set of tweezers to get your parts in there, to put your screws in. These are the Tamiya brand. I got those available on my Amazon store. So let's look at doing step 4. Step 4, we install the fog light casings onto the front bumper. Now they only go on one way. We have our right side here and our left side over here. We'll put the left side on first. Simply just lines up, just like that. And we put in one DP screw. And to make things easier, I'm just going to go ahead and put this on a bench vise that I've installed some foam on to protect the parts, and it's just going to hold it down a little bit, because something like this you really need 3 hands. Okay. And it makes it easier. We can just line our part up just like that. So this would be the left side first. So having this little bench vise really helps out. And like always, you can find one of these on my Amazon store. Putting the foam in here too helps protect the parts. Right. I'm not an octopus, but having this this bench vise really helps. And it looks like it's going to secure down a little better even anyway. And turn this over. You can see everything looks good. So that will complete step 4. I'll be right back and we'll get to step 5. Step 5, we install the grill to the bumper. We're going to be using 3 DP screws, and this way you really don't need to have a vise to hold everything together while you assemble this. It's simply going to install just like that. Do a little dry fit here. There's 3 tabs that this fits down onto, and you have a middle tab here where a screw goes into, and 2 more screws on the outer edges. So we'll put the middle one in first. DP screws are being used for this, so we're going into plastic. And just make sure everything lines up again. And just like that. I'm going to leave that just a little loose so I can get the outside one started. The outside one started here. I'm going to screw that in all the way. That's good there. Do the other side. Turn this around. And take the time to make sure your hole is lined up. So it is here. I'll put our screw in. That's tight. And then all I need to do now is just tighten up the middle. And there it is. All 3 are tightened down. And that's how it looks. So that completes stage 3. And that was a lot of fun. This 1959 Cadillac grill is very impressive to look at. It's just full of so much detail here. Very impressive. So if you like this video, please give me a like. Give me a thumbs up with this one. I enjoyed it. And if you haven't done so already, hurry up and subscribe to this before it sells out in the US or even in Europe. Get on board and build along with us. I'm not very long in this build, so you can easily catch up to me. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it. Happy modeling, everybody, and we will see you on stage 4 a little bit later. Take care and happy modeling.